What is up? What is up? What is up, sweeties? Welcome back to another episode of the Sugarside Podcast. Garrett, you look like an Uber driver that I might not trust. You know the ones
I
that
put
you
something in the water bottles.
but please take one. You ever get into an Uber and watch their Google Maps on their phone to make sure you're going to the place that you told them to go? Because I definitely have.
Yeah, sometimes. I pay attention just because I've had Uber drivers before where, like, you know, the phone is mounted, it's got the GPS up or whatever, and then they'll just start doing other things, and I'm like, whoa, you're driving!
Yeah.
Get off of Sudoku!
Or like they pick up a personal call and I'm like, hey, you're at work. I don't want to listen to your personal call right now. I actually had one guy that picked me up like super late and he was taking me home and he was missing a freeway exit and he was like 4 lanes to the left. And I was like, hey, I think the exit's right there. And he like mutters, oh shit, under his breath and just like cuts across all 4 lanes at the same time.
Oh my gosh. No, I look like the kind of Uber driver that's about to like take his last puff of his cigarette and then flick it right back into your face.
Yeah.
Just like, wow! Just
like we're the inconvenience and we're paying him. But anyway.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Wednesday, as always, and being the middle of the week that it is, and being called Hump Day as it is, I think we all can be a little tired and just want to, I don't know, survive the rest of the week. And it just so happens
This is who I've chosen to be my partner. That is who I've chosen to work with.
Hey, man. It's off the top, okay? It's pretty good. Nothing's written, if you guys are wondering. So with that, Garrett is going to get into our Wednesday show, none other than Survivor. So, buddy, let's talk about Survivor from last week, because it was a doozy. Knuckle cracks are definitely warranted.
Oh, man. Tre, I'm going to pull up just so that I can recap what I texted you the night of. The night of, I texted you in all caps. S, what a play. S, with a bunch of S's. Losing my mind is what I texted you because this tribal was by far one of the most entertaining tribals that we've had, and definitely in this season. But for a while, is what I would say.
Yeah, I think it took everything that you've been complaining about, and we've been complaining about the show, and like especially the vote-offs and the tribals, and finally did something about it. It's almost like the producers were like, hey guys, we need to pick this up a little bit. Like, this is getting a little boring and we're the ones making the show. Like, please do something else. And they definitely did. They
did it, dude. That I had half a mind that like hidden fake idol at tribal was never gonna come back up again. Like, I just was like, no, it's just gonna sit there, and it was like funny, but they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah,
I was wrong,
big time.
Yeah, leave it to Rick Devins, dude. Leave it to Rick Devins to come up with something fun with an idol. He's known as the idol guy, so to be able to come in on Survivor 50, and he didn't find his own idol, but he still is doing idol shenanigans. That's classic Rick Devins, and I was pumped to see that. You know, just so that the audience is aware, this last episode of Survivor, the twist was that they were going to partner up and that both people would be up for elimination. So it was a double elimination night, and I think that actually like added a good twist. It's definitely better than the Blood Moon.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it really mattered who you were paired up with. I think Chrissy is pissed as hell that she happened to be paired with Coach.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't think that they would have voted off just Chrissy.
Yeah. I agree with you that it was for sure stringent upon who you were paired with, and like how unfortunate to have someone that it's like they probably just wanted to vote him off and I was just guilty by association. Do you think there was anyone that would have wanted or wasn't upset being paired with Coach?
Someone who would have wanted to get paired up with Coach.
Like,
that's not what I thought you were going to ask. I thought you were I was ready to answer because I thought you were going to ask, was there anyone that would have wanted to vote off Chrissy? Because I was ready to just be like, yeah, me. Like, I would have voted Chrissy's ass off because Chrissy is annoying. And like, she's like a mom around the camp. So she's probably like, can you like sweep up this area or like do this or do that? I think that she would just bug me with like maintaining camp.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
don't nag
no.
me on Survivor.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in the wild. I don't need to be clean. But
you fucking sweep. You're like, if you want to sweep so bad.
Yeah, exactly. But no. Okay, anyone that would have wanted to get paired up with Coach. I think that the only reason why someone would want to be paired up with Coach is a chance at winning immunity because he's good at challenges. But that did not happen. I think that everyone kind of saw, like, if I'm paired up with Coach, I'm at risk.
Totally.
So, and that's totally justified because they've been gunning for Coach for like 2 episodes now of like, he's being annoying, he's writing haikus in the hammock and like, get him out of here.
Yeah.
But, you know, so coming back though, the real people in danger were Rick and Aubrey. You know, Coach running around using the term like the middle people. Has really taken off within the tribe of like this invisible middle people group. And Rick and Aubrey both fall into that category for what they've determined is the tier list.
Yeah.
And they don't want to keep the middle people in because then they'll have a chance to come in to the top 3 and win with a sympathetic jury.
Yeah. It's like a long distance race. You never start super hot and you don't want to be in the back, but it's always the person that's in like 3rd, 4th, 5th that ends up making that last sprint and ends up winning the race.
Push, yeah.
Yeah. So I totally understand that mindset, especially for Coach. It's the first way his brain's going to work is like, I'm going to pay attention to the people who are kind of flying under the radar. Because they're gonna have something up their sleeve by the time the season's over.
Yeah, but he wants some out of there. So that's Rick and Aubrey came up to be the couple of choice because it would be getting 2 of those middle people out at the same time. I get it. It's probably a good play from these top people,
right?
But that's the thing with the top people, and especially with Coach in his game in general for his entire Survivor career, the honorable and like noble, you know, I'm the best. It's like he doesn't recognize that mindset comes with such inherent cockiness and arrogance that like that's what gets him out of the game every time.
Yeah.
And it did this time too, because he came in doing the same thing, and it gets old. It gets old fast.
Well, and Survivor is an interesting...
being seen as one of those top people just puts a massive target on your back.
Totally.
So I want to be in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a coach.
And that's tough thing is like being in the middle might get you looked at if someone looks at the game a certain way. But being a top person, like you said, you get a target on your back, and Survivor is a delicate balance where people have to like you to a certain extent. You can't come in so hot that you make everyone annoyed at the same time because you're not going to make it to the end. There's just no way. It's like you have to be able to play both sides, where it's like you have your moments that you're cocky and you do things for yourself and you make it to the next round, but there's also moments where you have to be a team player. And that's where the jury and the end of the game comes in, where it's like you can have a case to win it if you truly play both sides, and people have to look at you like, damn, like I did like them, but they are a fucking savage. You know, you can't just be a savage.
No, it's that quote from It's Always Sunny. It's, no, you don't see. I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You can't just play the top side.
But what a play, though, by Rick Devins to save him and Aubrey using the planted fake idol from, like, episode 1. Finally comes up. They're ready to use it, and everyone buys it. You know, there was one person that I heard did not buy it and was trying to spread it to the rest of them during that live tribal. Once it becomes a live tribal and people are whispering in each other's ears, can you take a guess, Trey? Can you take a guess who the one person was who was saying, it's not real, it's fake, vote for them, it's fake?
Can I have Emily Flippen for...
Would you believe it? But it was Emily Flippen. Why? I don't think she even knows that it's fake. I don't even think she knows that it's fake, but she still is the one inadvertently spilling the secrets.
Just
yapping
talking,
around.
bro. It's so
Oh
crazy.
my gosh, get her out. Get her out.
I want her interviewed after the season and to be asked that exact question. Like, did you know it was fake? Or were you just saying shit? Like, I want the answer to that because that's hilarious, actually.
No, at this point, I genuinely think that it is just the strategy that she came in with was, I'm Emily Flippen, financial analyst. Everyone sees me as like a reliable player. I'm going to come in and play chaotic evil
Mhm.
and do this stuff on purpose and like spill the secrets, be chaotic, because that is a strategy. I've seen it work.
She's kind of everybody's friend, and I know we've gone into a deep dive with her, and we'll continue to because this isn't going to stop until she gets voted off if she does. But I feel like she's almost the opposite of Coach in that she's everybody's friend in certain moments because everybody's secret that she's spilling benefits somebody at that time and fucks the other person over at the same time. And she keeps choosing almost aimlessly, chaotically who she's helping. But she can also look at everybody and be like, I helped you at one point. And they can't really fault her for that.
It's true. I think that it is secretly building a resume of like, no, I told this secret so that this person would get out. I told this secret because I knew you guys would react this way, blah, blah, blah. But in the moment, in the edit right now, she just looks like a crazy person.
Right. I'm with you. I want an edit at the end of the season of all the secrets she spilled. Just a compilation of her just like running around.
I'll put it together. The Emily compilation of just ruining everyone's game.
Yeah, the whole time. But man,
I mean, but it still worked. They were able to get through it. Rick even leaned down and said, it's not good until the next tribal, so I can't even play it right now. You can't play it ever, Rick Devins. It is a fake idol.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he's gonna talk himself through this one. You know, they were asking for him to open it right there on the spot, and he was like, no. So if they go back to camp and they're like, can we see the clue that you got? He's going to have to say no because he never got a clue.
Yeah. And that'll be interesting.
So I think that it falls apart very quickly now and will just come out as fake.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough situation to be in because he had to play the short game. There was no long game plan with that or else he would have gone home. So like you said, now he's got to try to put the worms back in the jar, but it's like he wouldn't be there if he didn't do it the way that he did it. He had to make that play, and now he's going to have to try to backpedal. And like you said, I think it's going to fall apart really quickly. But it'll be interesting to see how that all unfolds next episode because the rest of the tribe has so many different ways to expose that it was a fake. The ball's really in their court.
Yeah, even if they expose that it's fake, when it goes back to single elimination this next episode, I think if I was on that island, if I was Rizzo, right? And that just happened, I'm not looking at the next tribal like, now I have to get Rick out. No, I still have my target people. Like, I gotta get Ozzy out. Okay, Rizzo was the bad example because he's working with Ozzy. But if I was there, right, I still have the people that I want to get out before Rick Devins.
Yeah.
So he might be okay for a little bit.
Yeah, they just know.
It really came down to his name was coming up because of that, like, pairing situation.
So I'm sure he wanted to save that in his back pocket as long as possible. But it was great that he had it when he did because it saved his ass for sure. So yeah, that was a really good episode. Really good
episode.
And I hope that the tribals continue to go this way because the rest of the season will be much more entertaining that way. And we got some really good people for the jury now too. I mean, we got our second and third members on the jury. And I think, from here on out, it'll be interesting to kind of start to think about what the jury's going to look like and what those alliances are as we start getting closer to our top three. It's like,
I'm curious if they
that are left.
I'm curious if they straight up just cut out the Mr. Beast segment from the show because it still hasn't come up yet. And I wonder if they saw the Zach Bryan part and they were like, we can't do it again.
They're like, yes, excuse me, Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
we can't. I'm so sorry.
We can't do it. That'd be so funny.
Oh, that's so funny, man.
Yeah, next episode is going to be an interesting look at where we go from here.
Yeah, and it's tonight. I love that we talk about last week's episode on the night of the newest episode. It feels like a nice refresh recap going into this week's episode. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it goes down. Buddy, are we ready to pass the sugar?
I think we are.
Think we are. I will take it. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, Garrett and I wanted to introduce a new segment that we are calling "What
What are
Are
we
We Watching?"
watching?
Now, we wanted that ridiculous name because Garrett and I have a ton of shows that we start and are watching individually that we tell each other about. And so we thought it would be fun to just kind of do a rapid fire of what we're watching ourselves, with the mindset that it also holds us accountable to finish these shows, because we are the kings of starting shows and not finishing them. But if we talk about it on the pod, we have much more motivation to do so. Buddy, you can get us kicked off. What are you watching right now?
I
What's on the
think, how
docket?
do you want to do this? Should we alternate? Like,
Yeah,
where I
we can
say
do
one
that.
thing, you say one, I say one, you say one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you have more than I do, but we can still go back and forth. If you have to do a few in a
Yeah,
row,
I'm a
that's fine.
degenerate, so I mean, I watch TV a lot. I'm up in the like late hours of the night, and I usually am watching TV. Okay, I'm going to start with a show that I just finished. It is the second time that I've seen this show, and that's Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley, I like anything made by Mike Judge. I think that he's actually hilarious. Idiocracy, Beavis and Butthead, Office Space, are some of Office Space is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go into work tomorrow. You mean you're going to quit? No, I think I'm just going to stop going. That's hilarious. But Silicon Valley is still very funny. I think it holds up. I think you don't need to be very savvy in the tech space to get it. I just had a big presentation in front of like $1 billion company, and the whole time I'm thinking about Silicon Valley because it's just it's a relatable show for sure.
Yeah.
Good times. I would recommend it. Happy I got to see it a second time. Jared is the best character. Fight me.
Let us know in the comments who your favorite Silicon Valley character is. Let's talk about that. That's always fun. I always love arguments with you guys. Okay, my first show that I just finished was the newest season of Love on the Spectrum. It was season 4, and I love this show. There's a lot of characters and people on the show that come back season to season, but every season we get new ones. And this season was nothing short of amazing in terms of new cast members. They always find great people. There was this one guy, and I know Garrett doesn't watch it, but I'll explain. There was this one character, Logan, who is one of my favorite people on TV right now, because he is the perfect juxtaposition of having a confident thought and then immediately backpedaling off of that thought. And he voices both and vocalizes both. And so he'll be like, I can take you on a date if you wanted to go. And he's like all smooth, and he'll be like, unless you don't want to go, and that's fine. We don't have to go. And he like does it the entire season.
I love that.
So fucking funny. And he gets like this little sway to him where he'll be talking and he's like kind of just bouncing his shoulders like this as he's like trying to be smooth to girls. It's awesome. But that show it's just so much fun. I feel like it's fun to watch people who just want to find love and go on a date for the first time and watch their jitters and watch their personalities come out. Like it's so heartfelt and heartwarming, and they're just so honest. And there's relationships that you truly get invested in. Like there are relationships we've watched through the first 3 seasons that you hope they're still together, and you love watching them grow and watching their parents cry. I always get misty-eyed by the end of the season when their parents watch their kids grow up. It's a good time. We did have some breakups this season that were really sad. And
That's what I was about to bring up. Was I heard a rumor that one of the recurring characters, I'm bad with the names on the show, but I think it's Abby was the girl.
Yeah, so actually there was 2. Abby was
Uh-huh.
probably the most famous one from the show in general, and her boyfriend broke up because she's ready to get married and he's just not, and they kind of just got to a point where they're friends, but they're just better not in a relationship. That one wasn't as shown on the show. That was more in the public eye. The one that was shown on the show was Connor and Georgie, and Connor is a fan favorite because
Yeah,
he's like,
I know Connor.
you know Connor, and he's hilarious. And from what I've heard, he broke it off with Georgie, and in the show you kind of see it where he is just a little more emotionally mature than her, and that he likes expressing his feelings for her vocally and wants things to be a little more serious. And she is just very like chill, like, I like you, I like you, it's cool. And like that's just not really her personality. And he would get his feelings hurt thinking that like she didn't respond the way that I thought she would to what I said, and so she must not like me the way that I like her. What was heartbreaking, though, is as soon as I heard they broke up, Georgie went public with her new boyfriend and is already dating somebody else. And so the saddest part to me was Connor was asked in an interview if he was coming back for season 5 because they're filming it. And he looked at the camera and said, I think it's time, and I've decided that I'm going to pass that torch. And the fan base died with that we're not going to see Connor anymore. He was a great one to get used to, but
It's fair, though.
It's fair. I could see that he didn't want to get into that again and kind of start from scratch. But yeah, great show. That's when I finished. And talk about a show that you're starting, that you're on to, because there's a few that are coming
I
up.
have another show that I finished all the way through, and that's DTF St. Louis. DTF St. Louis is on HBO. Jason Bateman, David Harbour, and Linda Cardellini. I think my review still stands. I haven't made this on the pod, but I told you.
Yeah.
It's such a blend of very interesting and so boring that, like, at the end of the day, I would say that the show is fine. The only thing that, like, maybe could take it a step further for me is that I appreciate that it's a show with a plot, but it's really about this other thing. You know what I mean? Like, the plot itself is like almost like a murder mystery,
Yeah.
a whodunit. But at the end of the day, that whodunit doesn't matter because, like, the show itself is about, like, adult male loneliness. And so I appreciate that it goes deep. It goes deeper.
Yeah, there's layers to it. That's always fun.
Yeah, there's layers to it. There's something extra to be said. It's not just what the show is about. Is not like if I were to give you a plot summary, the plot summary is that Jason Bateman and David Harbour work together, and through a series of events, whatever, Jason Bateman's character starts hooking up with David Harbour's wife. Okay. And David Harbour's character is murdered in the first episode, and they're both under suspicion.
Got it.
And so through a series of flashbacks, David Harbour's in the whole thing, because, like, it's really the story about leading up to that.
Right, to try to figure out who actually killed him.
Right. So that's the plot summary, but really it's about, like, David Harbour's character and, like, what a man in that position, like, under his circumstances does, or, like, how to try to cope, or, like, whatever. And that was interesting, but the, like, show itself was not that great. Like, I'm like talking about, like, what I found interesting about it. I thought it was shot well, edited well, acted well. Like, I care about that stuff. Pacing was probably an issue. You hear me say pacing all the time.
Yeah.
It's only like 7 episodes, but it felt like it probably could have been 5.
Okay. I was going to ask, like, with all this positive stuff and even the story itself being interesting, what do you think could have made it better? Was there
Probably
anything...
just a little of the, like, what maybe comes across as filler or something. But at the end of the day, that filler stuff kind of speaks to the bigger theme, because, like, there is a lot of mundanity, I don't know how you say that word, that comes with life.
Yeah.
And being, like, a totally normal, he's not like a loser. It's just like, there's mundane moments in your life. And,
Totally.
and so there were mundane moments in the show, but, there's a reason I watch television. It's because I don't want to experience the mundanity of my own life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was fine. It was a mini series. I don't think that anything else is coming out, from this. So, but it was fine.
Yeah.
But I watched the whole thing.
You watched the whole thing and, acted well, shot well, story was good. We'll take that.
I'll take it.
That's cool.
And it's over.
I
will. That's the thing about shows that are fine. I will probably forget about the show in, like, 2 months.
And then you'll watch it again.
No, thank you.
Okay, so shows that I'm currently watching that are coming out right now. I'll save my favorite one for the end because I'm going to talk about it a little bit. The first one that I'm watching anime-wise is Dororedoro, which I've heard about since the first season came out. I'm not sure when. I think it's been a couple years now, but I never picked it up. And the only reason why I'm watching it right now is the second season is coming out episodically and weekly right now. And so the first season was only 13 episodes. I wanted to try to catch up so I could watch the second season with the fan base. And it's pretty good so far. It's interesting. I think Garrett and I are watching Baki right now. And I think what I like about Doro is that it's like, I like anime where they just nonchalantly kill people. Like, I think those are just funny because so many of them, it's like makes death so serious that you're like at the edge of your seat. This one, like multiple people die every single episode. And you kind of just get used to it. It's almost like knocking them out, but like their head gets cut off. And like it's just so
right.
normal that it almost makes me chuckle. I'm not hooked on it yet, which is why I haven't caught up, but we'll see as I get through season 1 if I'm like, I really need to get to season 2 and I'm excited for it. So we'll see. I'll come back to that one, but that's one that I'm watching. Yeah, let's go back and forth. What's one that you're going through right now?
I'm also watching Rooster, also on HBO, starring Steve Carell. This is also, my wife likes it more than I do, but I would say it's fine. It's made by the same people that made Ted Lasso, and it carries over certain elements for sure. They have like, they're good at telling these like optimistic or like, you know, like they're good at making you want to root for the characters, I guess. The premise is that his daughter is a professor at a university along with her husband, but her husband sleeps with a grad student, and so they are breaking up, and so he comes back to like console her, and he ends up also becoming a professor at the university. So it's, I gotta say, maybe it's just the setting of it, because I've seen so many like, you know, school comedies.
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
You know, me and my wife also started Abbott Elementary. I'm not going to talk about that as much, but it's the same problem. I'm like, is it funny? Yeah, I guess. But also, like, I don't care about, like, the premise of, like, a school comedy. It's just, like, whatever.
I kind of felt that way about AP Biology.
Yeah, see? There's just a million
I kind of felt the same way. I feel you.
And so, like, so here's my big problem with the show. My wife can't see it as well as I can, but you know that I hate seeing green screen. And dude, when your show is about you being on a college campus and you have to blur out the background so intensely because otherwise it would be even more apparent, I'm like, dude, you're on a soundstage. You're not there.
You're not there.
And that drives me crazy. She was like, how can you tell? And I'm like, how can you not? Use your eyes.
I think that's such an easy set to be on, too. Like, you're telling me you couldn't film at a college campus? There's a million of them.
You couldn't just be outside?
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, like, any grassy area could be a college campus.
If I'm wrong, I would be 1, surprised, but 2, maybe even more offended. Because if I'm wrong and they are on location, what are you doing with the editing then to make it look like that?
Yeah, that's even worse.
No, it's like egregious to me when like they have to have some sets. But even then I'm like, I'm looking and I'm like, he's definitely sitting in a chair right now. But is that just a chair in a soundstage room and not like in a house? Because you can have just a chair and then green screen in everything else.
Yep.
And
totally.
I can't, it's actually like making me get nosebleeds while I watch the show. It's hard for me to focus on the comedy of it when I'm so outraged by the filmmaking of it.
That's so funny.
That drives me up a wall. And you know what else drives me up a wall? Is the constant theme or archetype or whatever you want to call it, trope of we're getting a divorce because he cheated on me. 3 episodes later, we're hooking up again. Fuck you. I want one character ever that is like, no, this person cheated on me and I have nothing to do with them ever again.
Yeah. That never happened.
Like an actual divorce. The Marvelous Miss Maisel did that and it drove me up a wall. I'm like, this guy is a prick.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you mean? That you're just like back together. Fuck you guys. I understand that happens in real life. I totally understand that happens in real life and that like feelings are hard to get rid of entirely, whatever.
Totally.
But it's always in that plot where it's like, no, he did like the worst thing that he could do. Get him out of here.
Get him out of there. Make it into the scene from the beginning of oh my gosh, Wedding Crashers, where they're like they're divvying up their assets. Like that's funny. Do that.
Yeah. No, I just it drives me crazy. And because in this plot, they're getting separated. He is still sleeping with the grad student and now also his wife. And so now he's like, it's reversed. And now you went from cheating on your wife with the grad student to cheating on the grad student with your wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, this character is irredeemable to me. I want, if the next episode starts with him getting hit by a bus, I'd be like, cool.
Good show. And the bus better not be just fucking green screen either.
No, 3 episodes after the bus hits him, they start hooking up.
He's like in
Him
the
in the
hospital
bus. Yeah.
bed. That's fucking funny. Okay. Well, another show that
So
I'm watching.
Rooster is fine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rooster is fine.
Whatever. If you like it, fine. Maybe I think you're a little stupid.
Clip that. Rooster is fine. In the reality show world, a show that I'm watching right now is season 2 of Temptation Island, which, Garrett, I don't know if you watched season 1 of Temptation Island.
I think mostly just through clips, honestly.
Yeah, but the premise basically is couples come on that are on the rocks. One side wants to be there, the other doesn't, and they're going to split apart and meet tempters or people of the opposite sex to see if they want to stay with their person or not. The reason why I watched
Is
this
this where
show-
we're at?
Listen,
Is this where we're at in society?
1000%. But listen, the reason why I watched this show is every episode they have what's called a bonfire. Okay. And I watched this show for the host because the host sits one party down. So they'll sit all the girls down and all the guys down separately. And the bonfire is just one at a time. They watch a tape of their significant other doing the most raunchy, fucked up shit. And the host just sits there and gives them the most straightforward advice you've ever heard. Like, it'll be like a girl literally watches her boyfriend of like 6 years fuck a girl on the first episode in the first night. And then he's like, do you like when he does that to you? What do you think about that? And she's just sitting around all the other girls just like, and she just breaks down crying. And like, they're all just staring at her, waiting for her reaction. And they do it every episode. And it's so painful. But at the same time, it's like the differences in what these people get reactions to between girls and guys is so infuriating because the girls have to deal with that. Like the guys are immediately like, let's go, boys. Like, these girls are so hot, da da da. And then the girls are like, I can't believe he's doing this to me. Like, all I've wanted is his emotions and love for the past 5 years. And he does this in the first 24 hours. And then the roles are reversed. And the girls' tape that the guys have to watch will be like, you know, he kind of treats me bad. And I don't know if I deserve something better. And like, you've been really nice. I appreciate you listening to me. And the guy's like, are you fucking for real? She's talking to him about me. She's talking about my character. I can't believe it. And it's like, dude, he didn't even do anything. Like, you just fucked a girl and now you're going to be mad?
Yeah.
Like, what are we saying right now?
That's ridiculous.
No, it's insane. It's ridiculous. So that's a fun reality show that I'm watching. The last one that I'm watching, and then I'll let you wrap up with yours if you have any more, is season 3 of Euphoria, which Euphoria is one of those shows that we weren't sure if we were going to get a season 3. We've had some deaths in the cast. Nobody likes Sydney Sweeney anymore. There's a lot of reasons why people didn't think the show was going to be made. And you know what, man? For what it is, they're out of high school now. It's been a time skip. They're all kind of in like their young adult life. And I don't know if I care about their plot lines yet. But if there's one thing that show can do, it's have you fucking nervous and palms sweaty. These people go through some bullshit every episode. And it's, if nothing else, it's entertaining to watch. And you know, love or hate Zendaya, she can act her ass off, at least in this role as Rue. Rue makes me so scared to turn on my television every Sunday. The things that they put this girl through. The first episode of this season 3 premiere, she owes this lady money, like millions of dollars. And so she becomes her drug mule and has to start going to Mexico to bring fentanyl over the border. And they show her having to swallow balloons of fentanyl and like how they do it. And she has to swallow like 50 at a time. And like, you're literally sick to your stomach watching it. Like, it's so crazy, the things they come up with the show, and they never fail to execute well. And I hope that the storylines continue to be good throughout it, but I'm going to watch the whole thing because every episode, by the end of it, I'm like, I need to see what happens next week. Like, this shit's crazy. So I'll be coming back.
I feel like that would make me throw up watching like stuff like that.
It's really tough. There are some scenes that you're like, ooh, like I'm going to let it play, but I'm not going to look at the screen for like 5 minutes because this is just a little too much for me.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. Okay, let's see. Back to me. What else am I watching? We just finished Jury Duty Season 2. It's called Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat. And I know that you said that you haven't seen the first one. The premise of the show is that, you know, they have a situation. Everyone is an actor except for one person who thinks that it's real. So Jury Duty Season 1 was a like court, you know, it was jury duty. They were trying a case. He was the only one that thought it was real. Everyone else was actors. You could never put me on a show like that because the guy had trouble recognizing James Marsden. And I'm like, I would be like, yo, Cyclops, what are you doing in jury duty?
Yeah, right.
But
Can I get a picture
this
with you?
season, I would say that nobody is like extraordinarily famous.
Yeah.
I do recognize a couple of these guys as like side characters or actors like in other things. So I'm like, I would have picked up on this.
Yeah.
But our main character, Anthony, is the only one that thinks that this company retreat is real, or this company is real. It's Rockin' Grandma's Hot Sauce. They take him out to like this resort, and shenanigans ensue. And he's a temp. He's hired through like a temp agency, so he's like a temp worker. He's hired as a temporary assistant for this company retreat. He's got no skin in the game, anything. And the way that they wrote the plot out was that there's Doug, the CEO, and Dougie Jr. And the premise of the story is that Doug is going to step down and Dougie Jr. is going to take over the company. And then he fails drastically. So Doug comes in and is like, I actually brought this other company to come sell our company. And we're doing it here at the company retreat. I'm like, there's so many things where I would be like, what am I on a TV show?
Yeah. What?
And then the big climax is that Dougie Jr. and Anthony hear that the company that's coming in to buy Rockin' Grandma's is like, we're going to sell the farm. We're going to fire all the employees, all this stuff. Once he signs it over, there's nothing he can do about it, blah, blah, blah. Evil, ha, ha, ha. You know, corporate laughing.
Yeah.
And they overhear that, and Anthony takes it upon himself, because of the relationships that he's made with these people, to stop the sale. He runs in, tells Doug everything that they said, like, you know, and is like, don't sign. They're gonna screw you over. They're gonna screw everyone else over. I have no skin in the game. I'm just a temp, but I'm telling you because I care about these people. He had like
What
a big hero
guy.
moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good guy. And so they revealed to him at the end, they were like, we were really hoping that you would do that because you're on a TV show.
And what a roller coaster.
I still have the last episode to watch though, where like it's fully revealed to him, and I want to see his like full reaction to like what it meant to the first season guy had to go to therapy after the show. And I imagine that I would too. Could you imagine going on like a 2-week retreat with these people, making relationships and all this, and then be like, so you guys aren't my friends?
Yeah.
You know,
like they're like I mean, they're celebrities, right? They're actors and actresses. Like, you're never talking to these people again.
no.
Like, they're not going to exist to you after this.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And like, I mean, no offense to any job, a job is a job, but like, if I'm a temp worker for a hot sauce company and then it's a TV show, like, I was probably a little down in the dumps to begin with. So then for that to be another rug pulled out from under me, like, yeah, I'd probably need to sit on a couch for a little while and figure some stuff out.
I think he came across great. Like the entire show, he was nice and supportive and like did a good job at his fake job.
Yeah.
So like, I think he came across really great the whole time. Hopefully like it ends with like everyone being a good sport and all that and like laughing. But I would not recommend this show if you are adverse to cringy moments, because fuck, dude, there were I'm pretty good at watching stuff like that.
Yeah.
And even I, at certain times of the show, was like, God, like that's just, it's too much. Like, stop, turn it off. Like there are some embarrassing things that happen.
That's funny.
Just to get his reaction into things. Like one of the coworkers proposes to one of the other coworkers and gets told no. There's a lot of stuff. He in one of his confessionals, because they present it as like, we have a documentary crew filming us. One of his confessionals, he's like, if I were to tell my family about any of this stuff, they wouldn't believe me. And I'm like, yeah, because you're on a TV show, dude.
Yeah.
Like, put the pieces together.
There's a reason for that.
You're on a TV show. You're getting punked.
That's so funny. That sounds awesome. That sounds really funny.
Yeah, that's really good. I think we could probably leave it there because we need to wrap it up with Rocky 2. Yeah, let's pass the sugar.
One last
I'm sure
time.
that there's more stuff that I'm watching. There's more stuff that I want to watch. I've never seen Barry, but I've only heard good things.
Yeah, I haven't either.
That's the Bill Hader one where he's a hitman that wants to become an actor. So I want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on the list.
Maybe we'll check that out because I haven't seen that either.
I'm just waiting for Becky 3.
Yeah.
Give me Becky.
Give me Becky. Bring back Becky. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into our series right now, the Rocky series, and we watched Rocky 2 this week. The comeback of a lifetime and the adjustment to being famous. I think, just to kind of get us started, one thing I appreciate about the Rocky series in general, and this movie really highlighted that, was how many real elements of being a fighter that came from nothing that they packed into this movie. Like, and we see this with professional athletes of all kinds, but to be somebody who is from a poor neighborhood, not very educated, blue collar worker, and then suddenly you're in the public eye and nobody prepares you for what that's like. We just expect that they're literate and they speak well in front of crowds and they hold themselves to a professional standard and all this stuff just because they're athletic. And it's like, that's not the case. Like, we have no idea who these people are. And then we judge them if they can't hold up that standard that we created ourselves. And I think this movie does a great job of showing that, because Rocky's just a guy. And
one of my notes for Rocky 2 was, this might be the last realistic Rocky movie until Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I could see that.
Because I agree with you. I think that this one built off of the first one in a very grounded and real way. It definitely makes sense where the plot goes from Rocky 1 into Rocky 2.
Totally. Yeah.
There's so much I like about Rocky 2. For one thing, I like that you get to see what it means when Apollo puts in work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the first movie we gave him crap for caring more about the confetti and the flyers and all that stuff of the spectacle. And then after getting his ass whooped in Rocky 1 to the point where they're both in the hospital, and that scene where he comes in, he's like, we're gonna do it again and I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
And Rocky's like, I don't want to do it again. Yeah. He's like, you said it was a one-time thing.
But see, the flip side of that I also love is when Rocky sneaks into his room and he's like, did you give me your best? And you can feel the emotion of Apollo when he says yes. Because I think that was his flip switch. Being the champion is so hard. And when we talked about it in the first movie, that it's hard because when you're the best in the world, you lose that fire. You're not chasing anything anymore. They're chasing you. And so as much shit as he can talk of you got lucky and this and that, he knew deep down that he probably slacked off a little more than he should have. And in this movie, it was I'm going to get back to what got me to the dance in the first place. And it's not going this time the way that it went last time. It can't. And we got to see that. And I think that was really cool.
Yeah. I think maybe it begs the question of why didn't they train this way for Rocky 1? Like solving his footwork with the chicken and all this stuff. They didn't do that in Rocky 1. Wait, was the chicken in Rocky 1? I just watched this.
Yeah, it was.
No? The chicken's Rocky 2.
Is it just Rocky 2?
Yeah. I sound like an idiot now.
Yeah, then I don't know. Frozen was better.
Why didn't they focus on those? Rocky 1, the training montage is him going on a run and going up the stairs.
Yeah. No, I think, it also speaks to you can make the argument that it's they understand his weaknesses now after fighting Apollo the first time. And it's okay, this is what we need to fix. Because you got hit a lot and you can't get hit that much the second time, But I think, even having a son and having a wife and having a family, it was so much deeper for Rocky this time for a lot of reasons. And I love that we started with him trying to be this celebrity, trying to do the commercials. Then he tries to get an office job. He doesn't want to be a fighter anymore. And I love this realization of no, this is what I do. And I don't necessarily have to do it forever, but this is what I was made for. And if that's the truth, then I'm going to give it everything I have. And now I have a family to fight. And it's just going to keep pushing me forward. I love the camera work of them cutting back and forth to him being nervous and getting ready to walk in the ring. And then it would just cut to a silent shot of his son and wrapped up. And it's almost like you were seeing his thoughts in real time, And I thought, again, just a real interesting and realistic transition from Rocky 1 to Rocky 2. Because you do see in the fighter world when they first have a baby, this dad flip that gets switched of he wanted a two-fight skid, and then suddenly his wife has a baby, and it's he wins 7 in a row. There's something that happens when you have a baby that it's no one's fucking beating me ever again because I have something to fight for, And so there's just so many elements that are cool, real-life elements that they added to this movie. And to your point, we don't get many of those
No.
until Rocky Balboa, but I enjoyed these ones.
Well,
Sure.
I'll say, like, for as much as I like Rocky 2, there are tropey things that I still, like, giggle at, like, as far as plot goes. Like, Adrian going into a coma. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, sure. Let's just make something else to be worried about and
Yeah.
stressed out about.
No, I know. It's that kind of plot thing. I always go back to Grey's Anatomy, because when Grey's Anatomy, like, they had a shooting at the hospital. They had, like, other things happen. And then it really jumps the shark when it's like, and now they're in a plane crash. Like, it's like, how can all of the worst things ever always happen to this group
To
of
the
people?
same people, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just a little bit where it's like, did she have to go into a coma?
Yeah.
We were just talking about how realistic the movie is. That does not happen every day.
No, not to the same person. That's so funny.
But gosh, I mean, yeah, you have to have, like, the drama in every single one of these movies. We'll get to everything as we go up, but, like, in the next 2 Rocky movies, there are character deaths. So, like,
Yeah. We're gonna have some
we're
drama.
stepping it up from coma to death.
Yeah. They had to step it up. Coma wasn't enough. They've already done coma, so we got to go again.
Let me get your take on the fit check. How does the shorts, gloves combo, robe, walkout music, how does that compare to Rocky 1?
I liked it. I like the black and gold. I think it's
The
clean.
black and gold.
And I like that Rocky liked it. The last thing he says to Mickey before he gets in the ring is like, this robe's nice, right? It's much better than the last one.
I like this robe.
He's like, I like this one. And it's like, look good, fight good. You know what I mean? I think I really enjoyed watching Rocky enjoy all of the things that he earned from the first movie. And he still takes it humbly, and he has to stumble a little bit to realize, like, this stuff can break you if you let it. But at the same time, there are moments like that where it's like, this feels pretty good. I think I'm going to keep doing this because I kind of like the benefits of it.
I'm going to say something right now that might be a hot take.
Sure.
And so you either back me up or you shoot me down on this one, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I love Rocky 1, right? As a movie, all that jazz. The final battle between Rocky and Apollo, I think I like Rocky 2 more. And the final fight. Rocky 1, like, I get the plot of it, the cut me Mick, the Adrian at the end is all great. The filming of the actual fight is so improved in Rocky 2 versus Rocky 1.
Yeah.
Like, the actual, like, fight itself, I'm like, this is way more entertaining to watch. Rocky maybe has the better overall story, but Rocky 2, I think that final fight is better.
Totally. And I think, it really speaks to, it shows momentum in a fight better. Like, you can have a fighter that's winning 5, 6, 7 rounds in a row, and they get caught once, and you can watch their confidence erode in front of your eyes. Like, that happens. And it's like, we went into this one and it looked worse for Rocky than the first one. It was less competitive in a lot of ways, where it's like, why did he even get in there? Like, what is he doing? And so I think they choreographed that really well, where it's like, it's literally a puncher's chance for him. And he finds that opening, and, even down to the end, like, we've seen it 100 times, you still get nervous when they're both on the canvas. You're still like, come on, get up. This took longer than I remember.
Yeah, right. The slow mo, the hanging on the things, pulling them up, the sweat.
He's like, hey. And you're like, how does this end again? Like, he's almost at 10.
So this is, that's the big difference. Rocky, he loses. Rocky 2, he wins. And what do you think? I think it's earned by Rocky 2. Like,
totally.
By the end of Rocky 2, I'm like, if he lost again, then that end the franchise.
No, yeah, for sure. You can't go 0-2 and then keep the.
Imagine if we had the same number of Rocky movies, but he never wins.
He's like 0-8. Like,
yeah,
that's so funny. And then he trains Creed, and Creed loses also.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be great.
They all lose.
Yeah,
but
ding. He just loses.
No, but I think it was also a really cool ending, and I know we got to wrap up. I think it was a really cool ending in that when they're both down on the canvas, I can only imagine Apollo's mindset, right? Because into it, he's like, I gave it my best the first time, what I had, and I won, but he shouldn't have been in there with me. And this time I came back as prepared as I could, and now we're both on the canvas. Like, my motivation to get up is not going to be there. Like, that's a real defeat. of like, no matter how hard I tried, it went worse for me than it did the first time. Like, that's a really cool way to do it. They could have had him knock him out. They could have had Rocky like knock him out clean and then have the same celebration, but it wouldn't have hit the same as like Apollo had to get this close to doing it again and proving that he was right. And instead it was like, he's like, fuck, like I can't do it, you know?
I hear you, and it's gonna be interesting to see where Rocky 2 falls on the final rankings for both of us, because I think that both of us look at this movie pretty favorably compared to the rest of the list. But yeah, no, I enjoyed my time through Rocky 2. I'm looking forward to Rocky 3 because it has been a long time since I sat down for Rocky 3 again.
Me too. I pity the fool.
And so I think with a fresh pair of eyes, I'm gonna think it's really funny.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Rocky 3.
No, I'm excited. All right, you want to take us out, Pally?
That's gonna do it for us today on the Sugarside Podcast. Let us know what you think of the latest episode of Survivor. Do you still have your top 3 in the game? I've got 2 left. Let us know what you're watching. What are we watching? Let us know what you're watching. I think I still had like 2 other things that I could have talked about, but I forgot. And let us know where Rocky 2 falls on your list. Is it better than Rocky 1? That's a question for the ages, I think.
Yeah. Easily debatable.
It will be a definitive answer at some point from us. But for now, we're going to leave it up to the mystery of our final rankings. Catch us next week for Rocky 3 and for more Survivor and for maybe a game. Let's play a game next week. Let's plan something.
I agree. Yeah, let's play something.
Yeah. And it's a bitter, bitter world out there, folks. Stay sweet. I love you.